great.
Awesome. Thank you, Councilor Murphy, for bringing this to the council. So we've talked a lot about pools in my district, and apologies, I'm a little sick, so I'm going to stay far away and keep my time speaking to a minimum. And apologies if my questions are redundant because I was late, and apologies for being late as well. I'm going to take my time just wrapping up a few loose ends, only because we've had multiple conversations around pools in my district. I feel like we achieved the hat trick in my district where the Clougherty pool in Charlestown was closed without really any notice. And I know that that's something that we inherited here, all of us, because of decades of mismanagement and bad decisions. The Paris Street pool is going through a renovation right now and is going to be absolutely beautiful by the time it's done. But we are still, I think, 9 months behind of where we really should be due to RFP issues and things that should have happened that didn't. And then the Mirabella pool was at risk of closing down during its biggest weekend. It's a beloved pool in the North End because of staffing issues, and we didn't have enough lifeguards. And so that was something, Commissioner, that we avoided. So thank you so much. I remember being on the phone with you and saying, if I have to lifeguard this weekend, I will. You also said the same thing. I know we can't do that, just put that on the record, but that was avoided. So I do appreciate that. And Kerrie, you've been working really, really hard to get my district back on track. And Chief, you've always been a valued partner in this work, and Eddie as well too. I want to give you a shout out. And Sam, right? Sam, thank you for the Imana pool. That was also something that was ringing the alarm bells in my district because East Boston High School has been waiting for the Paris Street pool for months. And we have a strong advocate in Dave Aranella, who's the East Boston High School swim coach, who's been calling me for months trying to figure out what's going on. And when they didn't have the Imana pool, they didn't have a space. And so that was something that we avoided. So thank you. Just when it comes to the, just looking at my notes, so the junior lifeguard program, that was something that my chief of staff who was here had told me that you had mentioned, Martha. I'm really excited about that. And I'm wondering, just because it always has been difficult for us to attract and retain folks because of the funding levels. I mentioned that you can get more money and earn more by scooping ice cream at JP Licks than lifeguarding. And there's something fundamentally wrong about that. So I wanted to know how we are funding that and how much money we anticipate paying folks and just teeing up budget cycle for next year, what that might look like. And then how much money, just what that'll look like ahead of next year and how much money we will be paying these folks.
I don't have the salary for that, and I'm not even sure that is a salary. Do we know if it's a paid position?
Would it be unpaid?
For the junior lifeguards?
For the junior lifeguards.
I believe it is. It's like an intern position in order for you. So a lot of they come in and they intern under these lifeguards, get the skill set, and then train, typically under BCYF, to get the training necessary to become a full-time lifeguard. So they assist in observations of the pool and things, not necessarily rescuing because they're not of age. So we lowered well, not lowered it, but typically we aim to have lifeguards at like 16 to 18, and 16 is really the bare minimum. A lot of these interns are below that age.
Okay.
And so they don't have, but it's a pipeline that we've used. We've, unfortunately, like everything else though, I mean, with the commitments, we have seen a little decrease in participation unlike in years before. So overall staffing situation they're kind of in the same boat.
Okay, and would they go through the same sort of safety training ahead of when they would be physically at the pool watching folks, or? Yeah,
they would have to go through just basic training with respect to what a lifeguard does. But they wouldn't necessarily, I mean, they could assist in a swim, but they wouldn't be leading the rescue if there was something that needed to occur.
Okay, and then the hours spent at the pool would go towards their lifeguard certification?
They've always been given preference, especially if they have experience, is what I've been told. And Jeff Mackey and Tony Rosario have done a fantastic, especially Tony, I know, been focusing on this for a long time.
Do we intend to, just going back to the, I guess, trained lifeguards or real lifeguards, do we anticipate giving them a raise and trying to retain those folks and attract new folks from maybe like the Suffolk swim team, BU swim team? I'm just trying to get creative here and trying to figure out how we can avoid this next year.
Yeah, so this past summer, we did increase the seasonal lifeguard position pay, and we also went to the Residency Commission to waive the Boston residency. We are in the process of increasing the salaries of our year-round lifeguards to be beyond competitive with some of our, for instance, colleagues at the state. So really want to make sure that we're not just, that we're really securing our lifeguards for years to come, and are putting them at a higher pay so they're not enticed by other opportunities.
Okay, thank you. So I would love to get to specifics. First, the Clougherty pool. We did have a full hearing on this, so thank you all so much. There were commitments of $25 to $30 million for that pool, and a commitment to get it up and running by opening 2024. Would you all be able to give an update on the general timeline of where you think we'll be? It doesn't have to be month by month, but maybe going into next year, what that looks like from January to June, and then June to December of next year. Looking at Kerrie, would you be able to provide that for us?
Thank you, Council, for the question. So right now, the way we're looking at the schedule is 3 phases. The first phase would be demolition. The second phase would be a partial opening in the summer of 2024 with the pool and the filtration system up and running, and then do some temp facilities. And then the third phase would be a final turnover with the pool house with fully compliant, accessible, code-compliant building. So there's 3, and right now what we'd like to do is we'd like to meet with the Friends of the Clougherty pool first, and then beginning of the year, January, February, March, really start aggressively meeting with the community in terms of, because this, if we want to maintain our schedule, we don't need community feedback for demolition. So both designs will be working concurrently, and we would like to, because the dollar value, we're going to put out the demolition of the pool and the interior, and the filtration and all underground piping. And then in June, put out, that would be April for demolition. Start demoing in the summer. At the same time, we'll put out the bid set for the new pool. We figure that's 6 to 8 months worth of work with the filtration system. And that would be up and running for the summer of 2024. At the end of the season, we'd shut it down, finish the pool, and then, the schedule right now is reflecting February of 2025 being completely done, but they'll have their whole building, everything back for the following season.
Okay. So the pool house is what we're really looking at in 2025 as being, okay. And
Yes.
would that renovation get in the way of any sort of operations for the pool, or to have folks fully enjoy the pool in 2024?
No,
The construction won't get in the way?
We would, the way we put this out to bid would be that in that manner, so that with the expectation that we're not going to have the building 100% complete. I mean, if we can, accelerate the schedule, of course, we want to turn everything over. But the way that the current industry is and what we're seeing on lead times, we're not going to be able to do the pool house and the pool. So we're planning for just the pool and filtration and some temp showers, so that we can give the community back their pool for the summer while we're also doing the pool house. That will never stop. That will continue.
Thank you. I know that there was a commitment to not have the community center go there too. Thank you, Chief, for that. I think that the one thing that is missing, or something that was not really made clear to folks, and shout out to Friends of the Clougherty Pool, I think some of them are listening in, and I just want to thank them for their advocacy. But the lease is a huge thing, where it's up in 2024, I believe. And so they're concerned, and they've heard, yes, we will sign it, yes, we will sign it. I think they want to have something tangible in their hands of, we will have this land this land will be ours, we'll re-sign the lease or something so that we could have it in perpetuity. Has there been any movement on that or any additional conversations that we could put here on the record?
Thank you. So the White Fund Board meets next week, and we are making an ask to have a commitment or something that we can produce in writing.
Even before it's up in 2024?
Pardon?
Before it's up in 2024?
Exactly, before, just to have that assurance and, build the trust of the community.
Thank you.
Great. Go, sorry.
Sorry.
No, I
There's
thought
so
you were saying
many.
thank you to me. Go, go, go.
There's so many pools in my district. Parish Street Pool, you were able to give a general update. Thank you for that. You said that there was something wrong in the, or there wasn't something made explicitly clear about the lining. Was that in the RFP that was missing? Or how was the RFP framed and who put that together? And also, what's the process moving forward now to make sure that we're contracting effectively and we're not wasting all this time on the back end?
So the original, and I can only surmise that it was due to budget, that the scope in terms of doing a complete new liner for the pool. So there was a percentage of patching that was owned. When we went to patch, the shell itself completely deteriorated, so you couldn't even weld to what was existing there. So, we, again, in terms of it would be, everything that we do is 149 or 149A, so it was not included in the design, and I believe that was intentional. At the time, I don't know when this went out to bid, but yeah, it should be at a minimum that we would be replacing all liners, pool structures, when we go in to do the pools. I mean, the pool's the whole point.
I think we've all become pool experts the last couple of months. I now know exactly what it takes, including the lining, which is something I had no idea about. While we're talking about maintenance, structure,